and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, presented by Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Derek Fisher. We got Brez out in Houston with Mike Trudell. High-level game in Houston, guys. Lakers fall to the Rockets. Lakers fell down by 22 in this game and fought back. They had a huge third quarter, but down the stretch, you got to give the Rockets a lot of credit. They hit some big-time shots. Jalen Green was incredible. Lakers with some miscues late in the game with execution. But really the story for me that I think we have to start with when you look at this game as a whole, second chance points by the Rockets. I mean, James, 18 offensive rebounds for 28 second chance points. Got them 21 extra field goal attempts.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it, Geeter. You hit it right on the nose. You know, for me, it was the tale of two halves. You know, the first half, the Lakers had a slow start, gave Houston a ton of confidence and a ton of high percentage shots. They seemed to be able to get to the rim a lot with Green and Thompson, and, you know, that was it. In the third quarter, they you know, gathered themselves, did a pretty good job of settling down and getting back. But Adams, you know, a lot of offensive rebounds, second chance points after some good defensive possessions, you know, really just diminished their defense and just couldn't give them any rhythm. Getting back, no fast break points hardly at all in this game. And so, yeah, it was a tale of two halves to me, and Houston got the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, playing from behind on the road in the NBA is just, it's really difficult. And, you know, being down 22, your margin for error is so small. And so if you have a possession or two late in the game, you know, a misunderstanding, a miscue, you know, not executing properly, it costs you so much more because of how hard you've had to fight to just get back into it. You know, Houston deserves the credit. They were grittier at times when they needed to be, you know, tougher in some of the situations where the ball's up and whoever's the first to it goes to get it. But Jalen Green's performance, I thought, was the differentiator. Like, his first quarter output is really what created that early separation in this game.
Yeah, Fish, when you want to look at just those few minutes, too, I mean, it's funny. Billy and Stu talked about the Lakers were down 4 there late, but it's like, hey, you got to play perfect from here. And at that stretch, you know, LeBron got called for an offensive foul. Jalen Green, Şengün, they went 4 for 4. They hit tough shots with Laker defenders in their faces. Amen Thompson gets that offensive rebound when they have Green trapped in the corner. So just some tough stuff down the stretch there when you look at those last couple of minutes. Look at these Rockets right here. Jalen Green and Amen Thompson. Epic performances for them. 33 points on 12 of 24, 5 of 12. Remember, Jalen Green had 18 points in the first quarter. Amen Thompson, what a talent. Second-year guard, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists. Both guys, James, really played at a high level today.
What a nice set of hair these guys got, too. Yeah, very nice.
Back.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are in, like, attack mode, and they're aggressive, Geeter. Green from the beginning. He didn't care who was in the paint, AD. It didn't matter. They were very aggressive, and, you know, that set the tone for them. Green is an exceptional player, man. He's quick. He's agile. He has bounce. And when he gets going, it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Thompson's 23 points, but you could argue the 16 rebounds were almost more impactful, you know, than the points. It was just presence, in particular on this play, you know, being there ready to catch that kind of errant shot from Jalen Green late in the shot clock.
That was a
put
big
that
play.
ball in. That was a huge play.
Yeah, because the Lakers at that point were on a nice little run. Rockets were coming out of a timeout. They trapped Jalen Green in the corner, throws up a prayer, misses by a few feet, but there's Amen Thompson. By the way, he has 4 double-digit rebound games in the last 5.
Yeah, and I know, you know, we talked about the Lakers needing to be perfect in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of that fourth quarter, but the coaches are going to go look at the start of the fourth quarter.
10-0 run.
10-0 run.
Yeah.
And what breakdowns took place there? Were there any defensive lapses in coverage? Where was the offensive execution? Did you get the quality shots that you were getting in that third quarter? That'll be a stretch they really take a look at.
You and I were watching it at that point, and my frustration was getting high because I was watching, you know, it was the bench too. It was Holiday hits a 3, Adams was killing them with the offensive rebounds. Cam Whitmore hit a three, and it was that 10-0 run where it just felt like, man, can they come back? But then the Lakers, to give them credit, did fight back. But man, it was tough to get down after that huge run to get within 2.
Yeah, and it's a game of runs. You know, as you know, the Lakers had made their run in the third, and the Rockets countered with that run to start the fourth quarter.
Big game. Let's take a look at this late game play and just kind of get your thoughts on it. Lakers fall 119 to 115 to the Houston Rockets. Max Christie, they're down 3, James, with 8 seconds left. They do have one timeout left after this. And Max throws the ball. It looks like LeBron is calling for a timeout, James.
Yeah, he was coming to the ball, and, you know, right when Max was about to throw it to him, you know, simultaneously he was putting his hands up for a timeout. Unfortunately, the referee didn't catch that. But that person is taking the ball out of bounds. I've been there before. I've thrown balls, you know, interceptions that sideline just from panic and trying to get it in. You know, you got to know that you have a timeout, and you got to make sure that pass is you're open. And it's unfortunate that they didn't get the timeout, nor did, you know, Max call the timeout or, you know, make a decent pass. It's a tough situation over there when you referees counting down.
You have that clock in your head.
You're at 4, you know, you think you got to get it in at some point. So
yeah,
tough situation.
It's football season, so the quarterbacks and receivers now with like the back shoulder throw or like the ball placement in that situation, like James is saying, with Van Vliet covering LeBron, that ball has to be at 6'8", 6'9", and in that situation to LeBron's left hand. So back shoulders, no way Van Vliet. It either goes out of bounds on the opposite side of the court.
You might even get a foul called because Van Vliet was using his arm to kind of separate a little bit.
Yeah, but those are all things you learn, you know, in close games.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to replicate those situations in practice, but Max will learn from it. All the guys will learn from it, and hopefully not getting down by 22 to begin with, and you're not relying on everything going right down in the stretch.
Yeah, we've talked about it throughout the year. I mean, there's going to be learning moments throughout this season that you have to get better from, James, and you feel like this is one of those times.
It is, and, you know, fortunately, the Lakers have been playing well. And so when we talked about pregame, I said, you know, they'll lose a game, but I don't think they will suffer like they were early in the season. They'll learn from it quick, be a little bit disappointed that Fish said down 22. They'll try to correct that immediately, hopefully.
It's funny. I think, Fish, I think you said this, you know, we all had the game circled. You know, it's a big game. Rockets are, you know, having a great year, 22-12, second in the West. And but they had it circled as well because the way the Rockets came out in this game, I mean, obviously when you're hitting 3 after 3 and Jalen Green goes off, you're going to find yourself in a hole. But the Rockets' energy was at a high level from the jump. Young, athletic, fast, ready to play.
Yeah, and it seems like it's become a part of who they are. And they had the game circle, but they played in alignment with kind of who they've been this entire season. I think the Lakers had this game circled as well, but just like you said, you know, young, athletic, quick, you know, dynamic first guy to the ball. And before the Lakers could really kind of settle into this game, Houston had grabbed it and wrestled control of it. And it took all the Lakers' energy to try to get back into this game.
It also looked like that the Houston Rockets got a warning, too, that the Lakers they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Because they looked like they were ready from the jump because, you know, Lakers have been playing very well. Their defense is playing very well. So, yeah, the Rockets were ready. I think out of respect and a warning, Lakers were coming in there hot.
Big game. Losses are never fun, but, I mean, sometimes I like to look at losses differently depending on how that game goes. And really, I feel like this team has shown a lot of growth. I think you're starting to see Dorian Finney-Smith fit. He did some really good things. Max and Dorian Finney-Smith together on the court, what they can do defensively. This Laker team, listen, maybe a month ago they get blown out in this game, right? But the ability to fight back, they're definitely playing good basketball. Loss hurts for sure. The Lakers are doing some good things.
Hate to see them get down 22. In the past, when they've gotten down 22, it's been a difficult game to watch at times, but they settled in, got back to their, you know, the basics and, you know, started to play some defense. They're capable of coming back. They've done that before. It was a good comeback in this game. Unfortunately, just couldn't, you know, finish at the end.
Fish kind of seems like a name from the past for me because he's been hurt. He was hurt in the Memphis series years ago and stuff. But Steven Adams is the rebirth right there. He used to give me nightmares back in the day at OKC. But there he was just playing a role. I mean, he was exhausted when he went out at the 6-minute mark, but he had 7 offensive rebounds at that point.
Yeah, and former teammate.
Yeah. 8 points.
Great human being too, not just a really
Great
good
team guy,
basketball
right?
player. Yeah, great team guy. The big Kiwi. That's what he said.
Youngest of 17, maybe, or something crazy like that.
But no, embracing, accepting, understanding his role. And Steven's a guy that, as the game has evolved and guys his size are shooting threes, that's not been something that he's necessarily made a big part of his game. He has held and kept his hat in terms of dominating the offensive glass, being a great screen setter, getting screen assists, getting guys open. And tonight, in that start, that fourth quarter, his offensive rebounding was impactful.
In tonight's game, there's nobody on the Lakers team that could match his physicality. I mean, AD maybe, but when AD goes to help, or there's Roman, he's so smart.
Yeah.
He goes right to where he can get those offense rebounds. You can't stop him unless you've got somebody his size that can deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, Lakers put up some big numbers too. I mean, LeBron really got going. AD had 30 and 13 and 5 blocks. So, I mean, the Lakers went toe-to-toe once they can kind of got grounded a little bit.
Yeah, no, and that's what, when you start to break it down, I mean, it's a 2-possession loss, 119 to 115, and there are way more than 2 possessions that you can go back and look at and clean up and know that, okay, this is the second best team in the Western Conference record-wise. We are within 2 possessions of getting these wins right now. Let's keep building. Let's keep working.
All right, I'm going to take you for the emotional ride that is known as the highlights here. Let's go to it. Lakers taking on the Rockets in Houston.